How is it? Anyway, hello, rise and shine. It's 9:30 for me today, January 12th, 2023. Second episode of Welcome to Your World featuring Able. All things done by the creator of Able. Make sure again you follow all my Instagram pages. Out of K's mind, able to be lit and bout K. That's out of K's mind. OUTOFKAYSMIND. Able to be lit LLC. ABLETOBE LIT LLC. And last but not least, my main business page and modeling page, Bout K. BOUTKAY. Okay, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, madam, Mrs. Madam, sir, madam. So, I guess today's episode is gonna be about being single as a black woman and being in a relationship as a young black woman. I am 22 years old. It's too loud. I'm 22 years old, and I want to talk about my experience of being single as a young black woman and being in a relationship as a young black woman. Like I said, I'm only 22 years old, and I've only been in one relationship for sure that I like to classify as this was a relationship. But I feel like I've had the insights of what relationships are with me intertwining myself into situationships, entanglements, companionships, partnerships, what have you. It all definitely, the thin line between friendship and boyfriend was definitely crossed in those times. So I feel like I can have a say on this. So, and plus with my experience as what I've been doing in my lifetimes thus far till now, I feel like it's prudent enough to be able to have a say in this topic. So I would like to say being single as a young black woman is very fun. I think being single is fun in itself. You feel me? But don't get me wrong. Being in a relationship is fun as well, though. Like, being in a relationship is cool and all. Like, you have a companionship. You have a partner. You have a friendship. A friendship that's, like, you know, bound to grow if you want it to. But being single, I don't think anything beats being single. Like, I think being single is the best time of self-growth. You can't grow in a relationship. You can't grow in any ship that's not aligned with yourself first. Like, you can't do that. And I feel being single gives you that room. It gives you that room, that room to grow and to make mistakes without having judgment thrown upon you. It gives you room to learn and learn. Yeah, it gives you room to learn yourself. It gives you room to freaking, and what I mean by learn yourself, I mean know your strong points and weak points. Know your high emotions and low emotions. Know what makes you angry and what makes you sad, what makes you happy and what makes you mad. Like, oh my God, who am I, Dr. Seuss? I'm trying to use other words. What are, like, you're learning yourself because you don't have nobody but yourself when you're single. You don't have nobody, no partner or friend to mirror their personalities as the average human does. We too busy, like my man said, like, folks too busy trying to be somebody instead of being their self. Like, we too busy trying to be somebody or impress somebody or show somebody. We didn't even show ourselves or be ourselves or impress ourselves first. And that's why you have to be single. And that's why being single is such a rewardship in a sense, because it's like I've took the time to find myself. I've took the time to read myself like the back of my hand. You feel me? I took the time, and now that I've done the hard work, the shadow work is what people call it. I call it as well, the shadow work. Excuse my AC knocking. Look at this fool. Okay, I'm driving as well. Okay, your shadow work is when you can really have fun with yourself. Like, once you finish your deep shadow work, your dark shadow work, your shadows, your hidden shadows, once you overcame them and understand your shadows, okay, keyword understand, you can have fun now. Like, now the single life is finna be fun, because now you've gotten over all of these insecurities that you've had been projecting onto yourself, all of these energies that you've carried with yourself that you finally let go. Now that you've done that, you can be who you are. I can be Kayla. You feel me? I've been Kayla. Whoa! I've been Kayla, like, and I can continue to be her. I can dive further into her. I can, now that I've gotten over my, I don't have to repeat myself, but I can actually see all that I'm destined to do. You feel me? We only put on this planet for one or two things. It's to be a mother or a father, and to live, like, and to reproduce, which makes you a mother or a father. Whatever you want to categorize yourself as. I'm not putting no genders on nobody. I'm not putting no titles on anybody. However, the only thing we're put down here is to reproduce and live and experience. Like, that's it. And being single is the best time to live your human experience, because you come in this world alone, you're gonna leave this world alone. So enjoy yourself while you have the time to be by yourself, because at a certain time, the society, when you get out of the self, like when you get out your mind, you get back and you check back into reality. Society puts time limits on things. You feel me? Like, especially for a black woman, like, if you 25 and not like in a serious relationship or not nowhere looking for a husband or something, you wasting your time as a mom, as a chance to become a mother. You wasting your time at this point. And I hate that about society, that they put us on this timeline. They made time linear when time is freaking parallel. Like, there is no sense of time. It's parallel. Everything happens at once. Everything is happening at once. It's not, and everything is a cause and effect. True enough, but I'm finna use this example. Like, when I say everything is happening at once. Okay, take you and two other strangers, for example. Just because you move one step does not mean the two other strangers are gonna move accordingly after you. No, that's not how it works. That's how you're making time linear. You're making time linear, saying, well, if I move, then in a few seconds, then these two other people gonna move. No, time doesn't move in line like that. Time is parallel, which is all happening at once, which is saying that if I move right now, you're moving right now. Because that's just with me driving right now. Because I'm driving doesn't mean that the car behind me is gonna drive as well. No, the car behind me is already driving. And so is this car that just merged in front of me. It's already driving as I'm driving right now, which brings forth to how time is parallel. Everything is happening at once. Everything. Not one thing. Everything. So it's like society has put this sense of counting the time. You feel me? Like, counting the numbers that we created ourselves. Oh, if I'm 30, I need to hurry up and have a baby before I reach 30. Like, who said that? Who said that? Why did we calculate that the older we get, the more time we're running out? Like, who said that? And that's why it's so good as a black woman. especially a black woman, is to enjoy yourself while you can, because this world puts you on this timeline. Like, who said I wanted to be on the timeline? Like, who said any of those factors was true of, like, how I'm gonna live by this timeline? Like, how you know I don't want a baby at 53? You feel me? How you know I don't want to get married at 16 and have my first baby at 53? How you know? And why can't I do that? Who's to tell me I'm wrong? They are to tell me I'm wrong. Who are they? Society. And it's like, we gotta break this society now. In this fresh new year, you should break this society. Get out the matrix. I have. And now I'm just commenting on it like the elites do. They put their stuff out and then they watch the show. For this Walking Dead, for the sleeping, for the unconscious, from the unconscious mindset folk. Like, gotta wait till somebody tell them what to do. That's not what we're here for. We're not even supposed to be, you feel me? Hey y'all, I'm back. Okay, so being in a relationship as a black woman, excuse the rain, it was a storm earlier today, but being in a relationship as a black woman definitely puts you on a pedestal that you do not want to put on yourself. I remember me being in my relationship, I felt the need, and I don't know if it's, I do know, it's because of the type of woman I am, the type of nurturer I categorize myself to be, but I see myself always trying to play superwoman with every man that I be with. And now that I'm realizing before I say, it's like, that's really not where you want to be. It's always trying to take care of somebody. A man is supposed to be your provider. Yeah, you're supposed to provide for him as well. However, like, you're supposed to be his provider when it comes to nurturing and being his shoulder to cry on. But when you haven't learned to love yourself, how do you expect to love a man? But when you have learned to love yourself in and out, the good, the bad, the ugly, you can move so powerful, because everything you do is not for conditions how the average person move. Everything you do is not under a condition. I did this because of this. I did this because I want this in return. No, you did this because you wanted to, because you wanted to see a smile, not for no get back for self. You shouldn't be doing anything to get back at self while in a relationship with somebody. When you're in relations with someone, you shouldn't be doing anything to get back at self, because yourself should be healed while you were single. Now, when you do get into a relationship with someone, yes, the other person is going to be a reflection off of your triggers, off of your internal trauma, off of things, your shadows that you haven't addressed yet. But that's a learning tool for you to take it back to yourself to work on what you need to work on. Relationships are beautiful. They're not something to be scared of. They're not something to worry about. They're not something to be in competition for. You build your relationship and you go through your journey with your partner, and that is what can be fearful, because not knowing the unknown. But we're not supposed to know. Like, you're not supposed to know everything. That's God's plan, first off. And you're not God. You're yourself. So, me being fresh into a relationship, it's very breathtaking every time that we accomplish something together, or that I see a growth in him that was definitely a reflection off of me, and vice versa. My growth is a reflection off of his characteristics that he's been portraying to me. It's beautiful to see growth. growth is beautiful. And however, it's scary too. And I would say growth is scary for me as well, because I fall back into the reality, the society, when I'm supposed to be living my life for me and not for society. I fall back to society where I find myself comparing myself to other people's standards of relationships, or other people's others people's likeness and what they describe as a relationship. And I find myself comparing myself to them when I get to a certain point in a relationship that I haven't been in. You get to a certain point in your relationship that I didn't get this far in past relationships. So then that's when you start to outsource, looking for sources of how to be and where to be and how to overcome and what to do. And sometimes that can be hindering to your relationship, because that's when you start to let others in your relationship. And now it become a we ship, their ship, everybody else relationship besides you and your partner. So when it comes to growth or growing in your relationship, that's the time to go back to self and reflect, and do self-reflection as well of where you are in your life when you get to that period of that relationship and what you want to do. We have to stop comparing ourselves to other people's relationships, like fucking Lil Baby and Jada, even though they're not together no more, or Sierra and Russell Williams, and YouTube couples. I don't know any other couples beside my couple, me and my boyfriend, but we as a whole have to stop outsourcing to the wrong things, outsourcing to what would give us self-gain or make us feel good. Because when you're in a relationship, it's not about you no more. It's about you and your partner, because you guys are one now. That should be the goal, at least. And when you're moving in a way of oneness with your partner instead of for self-gain or what he can benefit for me, when you're moving in a pair instead of a person that's together, it's going to be more subtle, soft in your growth. It's going to be more reflecting and I keep saying self. It's going to be more reflecting, and it's more reflecting. Like you're just going to, when you're paying attention to yourself and paying attention to your partner off of how they're reflecting off of your characteristics, it's easier to take note in things that make you guys happy, make you guys struggle. It's easier to take note in the things that need to be worked on within yourself, because you're only focused on yourself. You're not outsourcing things on social media or family, please, or movies or YouTubes and stuff of that nature. You're bringing it back to you and him, you and her, So I say all that to say that being in a relationship as a Black woman is rewarding, just as being single. It's levels to this life, y'all. It's levels to life. It's levels to this. You have to walk before you can crawl. Like getting in a relationship after being single and taking care of self, it's like a test to see, did you really take care of yourself, or are we still aggravated by certain triggers that some people cause, or is there still internal trauma that's surfacing now that we're in a relationship? It's a test for yourself, not to them. You're not here to test nobody else. You're here to test yourself. So with that being said, welcome to my world as April, being in a relationship as a Black woman, because I've been single already. Tune in to another episode of Welcome to Your World, sponsored by Abel. See y'all.